Hello? Alright, let me just put the sound down a tiny bit on my mic. I think it might be a bit high. Alright, good. As long as I plug it. Alright. Alright. I'm not good with this. Trying to figure out where I can get the stream link from so I could post it in the various discords. Uh, then we're good to go. I think this is where I can get the link. Right. Let's go over here. Alright. Sorry, the wrong link. This is going to be the right one. They don't see relevant Discord. Um, Almost done. Seconds. All right. So I put it everywhere I want to post. Uh, and now we're just gonna start playing. All right. So I'm gonna be playing um, the same Vader 4 deck that I was playing. Um, that I played at the sectors in Portland. I went 9-3. I lost my last round to Mike, Bobby Sapphire. So I lost those games because I made mistakes. Um, so here we go. We're just gonna run the deck through uh, random opponents, and I'll discuss. All right, that's convenient. So pop one yellow. On this matchup, um, I the key card is Waylay. I need Waylay to bounce the Devastator, to bounce Legacy Run when they're annoying. Outmaneuver is not important. Keep, with this deck, I always mulligan for two one drops, and I keep any hand with two one drops pretty much. So I don't have two one drops. Easy mulligan. Um, Here I do have one drops against Palp. I'd rather have one drops that have more than one HP, so I'm going to keep the Starfighter, the Droid Starfighter, and the First Order tie. And then I will keep one combat squadron. I'll keep the 7th defender to make sure that I have a 3 drop. So between the tile in and the first order TIE fighter, the first order TIE fighter has the potential to do more damage, so that's why we keep that one. Um, Although honestly, in this match, probably won't matter. We get busy on turn 1 usually they'll either take out the 7th Fleet Defender or the droid Starfighter. So oftentimes, this is what happens when they take a one drop. You wind up drawing another one. Even if we had just one drop, it wouldn't be the end of the world. We'd still play it, and then they'd be incentivized to throw Bazine into it, and we'd still have a decent free resource turn with 7 Fleet Defender. Here, um, opponents will defeat the First Order TIE Fighter with Bazine probably. We'll hit for one. We'll be able to make a token. It's likely the opponent's going to defeat another unit, so the shuttle probably won't get played this turn. But we'll be able to play the 7th Fleet Defender. Alright, so they have McClunkied, which is fine. To be expected that they play Bazine right away. So we'll just play the 7th Fleet Defender now. So if they do play Bazine, they won't be able to take out anything relevant, and we'll still be able to get our attack in if they play something else and set throw it away with help. So they decided they wanted to keep Solution Scrum. I probably would have thrown it away and gotten rid of the tie. We'll make our token. We'll pass. Now our hand's pretty good. This turn we could play 2 units. We could play the shuttle and the Jonases, or the Jonases and the Mining Guild, or we can just play the Clone Combat Squadron. Um, I'll still hang on to the shuttle and resource the Mining Guild TIE Fighter. Um, we can play the shuttle, capture something, and mount something, like if they have an Elite T-38 or something. And if they don't have any of those, we'll just play the Clone Combat Squadron. So here they have laser technician. We don't want them to ramp, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna play the shuttle and we're just gonna grab it. And now, if they have McClunky or something and they defeat the shuttle, we'll have the opportunity to bounce the technician with the fighter to delay them again. So they just put Delicious Scrum back to their hand because they want to heal, which is fine. That's that's good for us. In the meantime, their hand is pretty low on cards. They only have 3. And we have a good board. Um, I could play the Jonas's Patrol Fighter right now to get rid of the 2 ties and bounce the Silicious Crumb, but I'm not gonna do that right now because I don't really have a good answer to Legacy Run if opponent plays Legacy Run next turn. So I need some units to be able to come back from Legacy Run. This is good. I do like TIE Phantom. Now, um, Legacy Run isn't really an issue anymore. I'll keep the bounce because they have a lot of P38s and stuff in this deck. I don't really need the one drop. At this point, Jonas's Patrol Fighter is essentially a one drop. We'll see. This is a good spot to keep the Jonas's. They traded us the unit, so we could just bounce it back to our hand, and we can throw our 2 ties, bounce it back, and then be able to play our Clone Combat Squadron this turn. That's what we're gonna do. The 2 damage is not that important. I'd rather have a Clone Combat Squadron. It's hard for them to deal with the Clone Combat Squadron. And now since they don't have any resources, they can't sack Delicious Crumb to defeat our 2-1 tie. They can't replace Delicious Crumb if they decide to bring it back to the hand. And our Clone Combat Squadron is like 7/7, and they're only going to be at 6 resources. So it's gonna have it's gonna have an opportunity to deal a lot of damage. Um, it's like the fans are telling me that my sound is not great. See if I can fix it. Here we can resource. I'll keep the shuttle. Let's see. If opponent plays Legacy Run and sacks it, they can do 7 damage. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They'll wipe our board. Um, so if they do 1 less, we'll get to keep an extra unit. So I'll keep the Eager Escort Fighter. This is what we're going to play. Don't really need the shuttle anymore. Actually, I'll keep the shuttle. We need the shuttle maybe for P38. We don't really need the 7th Fleet Defender. I'll resource that. Alright, so they played Traitorous again. which is fine. Um, we will just capture it. They can ramp here if they want. The ramping won't really matter. We'll play the lurking tie, and now we'll be able to do a ton of damage. This game is pretty much over. They're tapped out and declaimed, so we can just put Vader, hit for 15 for them to, yeah, this game is over if we do this. So now they don't really have a way of coming back from this. So they didn't have a really good game, didn't have any legacy runs, didn't have any P38s. They had two traitresses, but we had answers for them, so we should definitely win games like this. All right, so we'll just go on to the next one. Oh, same opponent. Right. I always let my opponent start because I think it's better practice to practice playing at the disadvantage. Although with this deck, it doesn't really make a difference. We don't have two one drops, so we'll mulligan. Um, Odds of drawing Lurking Tie Phantom are a specific card by 5 resources, like 57%. So I'm more worried about having a good start than having like a card that I'm going to need later on. So here we have a pretty average hand with just one drop. I will resource the two. No good for me dead. No good to me dead because it's not a very good card in this matchup. Um, Horn passes. Not great for us. We'll play our first order TIE Fighter and expect it to die to an ISB agent. So we just want to get it out of their hands. They have a change of heart. We'll just claim here. We'll keep the waylay. Order tie, I guess. Probably have to play the shuttle here. Yeah, probably have to play the shuttle. And then we have the shuttle for the other shuttle for the turn after that, and the patrol fighter if anything goes wrong. I'll resource the order TIE fighter. Um, so we'll just play the shuttle. Another ISB agent. That's fine. Claim. We should ditch one of the ISB agents. Uh, all right. So now our hand's getting better. We'll probably won't. Since I can play two cards this turn, I'm gonna resource the shuttle. It's gonna be hard for us to win through Legacy Run at this point, anyways. So if they have it, they have it. The shield doesn't do anything against Legacy Run, anyways. When they can ditch the Legacy Run with Palpatine and deal 1 damage. So here, I made the token first. If they defeat a unit with 1 damage, they're probably gonna defeat the shuttle. They haven't defeated anything, so now if we play Victory Leader, maybe we can jam them up and they won't be able to defeat anything. Even if they have like, do we want to stop them from ramping here? We could stop them from ramping by switching these two units with the patrol fighter. I mean, if they have Legacy Run, Legacy Run's gonna wipe our board anyways. We can slow them down a bit. All right. Yeah. All right. I won't do it. I'll just play the TIE fighter. I'll let them ramp. And we even got initiative out of it. They dealt damage to this, which is probably their best target. Um, Here, ideally this turn we want to play Clone Combat Squadron and Jonas, or we're gonna waylay and play Jonas and bounce something probably. Uh, so I'm just gonna resource the shuttle. And I'll hit. I always like hitting with Victory Leader first because that's usually the unit that represents the most damage on the board. They played the P-38. We could bounce it, but it's not gonna do anything. So what we could do is throw a unit into it right away, so they can't sack it. Is it gonna matter? No, if they sack it, they're still gonna destroy 2 units. Alright, so we'll hit the wood shuttle first. Get some damage in. And the Bazine, they'll take away the Clone Combat Squadron. Give us another Victory Leader. Then they'll probably throw the P-38. I'll attack with the tie, and then if they don't throw the P-38 with Palp and defeat these 2 units, then I'll send the TIE Fighter into it. Alright. They did a damage on the Victory Leader, so maybe they have another McClunky, but we have another one in our hands, so we're fine. Uh, take the 3 damage. We know they have a change of heart, but whatever they change of heart, we'll be able to bounce with the Jonases. And then I don't think there's anything on their side of the board that we really want to bounce. Maybe I could just bounce something for 5. Yeah, we'll just bounce um, Delicious Crumbs to get more units on the board. Yeah. Here our hand's pretty good. We have 1 Waylay. We don't really need the P-38. We could we could opt out of the extra 2 power to draw cards with Mining Guild TIE Fighter. Let's see, 12, 16, 18, 21, 23, 25, 30. So if they have no removal, we could win this turn pretty much. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna resource the P-38, and maybe we can draw cards later on if they have a good turn this turn. So yeah, so they had McClunky, which is fine because we have another Victory Leader. However, we do want to play against, around Change of Heart, maybe 3, 4, 6, do 11, 23. Uh, yeah, I guess I'll just play the other Victory Leader. There's no really good target for Change of Heart except for the Jonases, I guess. And then it's just going to be 3-2 on their end and won't be able to defeat like Victory Leader. And unless they send it into, let's say, they just won't be able to defeat Victory Leader. They'll be able to trade it for another one of our units, though. But it still takes up the whole turn. Yeah, so that's what they did. They changed of heart. So we'll hit with the 3-2. Now they kind of like have to send it. Okay. Um, that's fine. So now their plan is to ditch a unit and finish it off, or take it with pulp. So we can, what we can do, we're gonna have 2 options. They're gonna claim here, or they're gonna attack with the ISB agents, I guess. Now we could just claim and attack with it. But I think we'll just make a tie. We'll just play our turn anyways. Now what we could do is put Vader onto it, or just put Vader on the ground and hit for 5. I'm just gonna put Vader on the ground, hit for 5 here. And now if they defeat it or take it with Palp, Vader's gonna hit for another 5, and we'll be able to finish them off with this. Here, I'm not gonna resource anything. Even with 6 resources, we can only play 2 cards, so even if we resource, it's not gonna change anything. And all our cards are really good in this matchup. Alright, so opponent's gonna take the Victory Leader. That's fine. We'll hit him for 5 with Vader. Now the game's pretty much over. Especially with the lurking tie. Opponent doesn't have the resources on the board to finish off Vader unless he throws like the victory leader or the ISB agent into it by attacking with pulp, and then that leaves us enough damage on the board. Um, we're not gonna waylay this turn and play the lurking thigh, it looks like. So I'm gonna attack with the mining droid and draw a card. If opponent was gonna give us a reason to waylay, they would have given us a reason before attacking with the victory leader. Um, so here we can hit for one, see what opponent's gonna do. Okay, place the scrum. Um, will if they sneak attack lurking thigh, if they sneak attack legacy run, they could wipe our board. Maybe it would have been better not to draw the card with the mining guild type fighter. I didn't think of that. Then we could have just played lurking thigh and passed until they claimed. Um, all right. So to avoid that, I guess I'll just play this. Being Palpatine, it doesn't really matter. I guess I shouldn't have gone with the mining guild type fighter. Okay, opponent no good to me dead this. So now they only have 5 resources, so we're gonna claim. Oh, he had another no good to me dead. They're gonna Bazine, take out the lurking thigh. Right. Um, we don't need to resource because we're gonna we're not gonna play cards for like 7 resources. Um, we'll just we're gonna hit with the TIE fighter first because they could throw one of these units to kill the TIE fighter. They can't do that to the mining guild. Um, here we're just gonna bounce the reinforcement walker so they don't heal another 3. They have to defeat Vader because Vader otherwise Vader will ready and win the game next turn. So they have to either trade Palpatine into it or trade their 2 1/3s. Right? They decided to trade Palp into it. Um, we can deal another damage here. We're not gonna draw because we can play the two droid starfighters. Same. Now, pretty much all they can do here that doesn't lose the game on the spot is play Devastator. Um, and then we'll just win. I'm gonna resource the outmaneuver because it's never relevant in this matchup, whereas the 7th resource might be if for some reason I have to draw with a mining guild TIE fighter and draw a card that costs 5 that I have to play. Um, won't happen in game 1, but could happen in game 2. Right, so they play the reinforcement walker, they're back to 24, but we have 6 damage on board. So it's going to be hard for them to survive. So we'll hit with the P-38 first. With 2 resources, maybe they can uh, McClunky to defeat a unit. Otherwise, they're not defeating any units. They could take Salicious Crown back and heal for 1. So what we're going to do here is hit them with this and not draw. And then they're going to play Salicious Crumb. And we're going to claim. And we're going to claim. And unless they have McClunky, they just lose. I could have probably just played my two cards and made a tie. It would have been fine. All right. So didn't have anything. Game's over. All right. All right. Let's wait a few seconds. Let's for some queue and we don't get queued into them again. All right. So Cad Bane. So Cad Bane, we want one drops that don't have one HP, but I would still keep a hand with two one drops. So what happens is you play the first one, they'll ping it, then you play the second one, and if they have McClunky, they were gonna wipe your board anyways. Um, no matter even if you played two one threes, they opponent decided to leave. I guess they didn't like their mulligan. All right, that happens a decent amount of time on Karabast. Unfortunately, people don't want to fight through the hard games. So when they get to tournaments and they don't have the starting hand that they like, they just don't know what to do. All right, so on to blue force. So in this matchup, outmaneuver is super important. We want two one drops. Ideally, we want two first order TIE fighters because the HP of our units is not important. The Republic Y Wing survives Grogu, but that's the only one. So unless you're playing two Republic Y Wings uh, on turn one, Grogu's going to defeat something anyways, so you might as well just have a bunch of power. We have one drop, so we're going to keep this. In this matchup, no good to me dead is somewhat okay. We'll resource one of the one drops. I really like Jonas in this matchup, and I also always like Victory Leader, so we'll just resource No Good to Me Dead. We still have a lot of other cards that we can draw to replace it. All our events are good in this matchup. I think Unmaneuver is the best, then it's No Good to Me Dead, then it's Waylay, but they're all good. See, now it's great that we kept Jonas's because Jonas's is awesome against Frog. Usually, Han is a deck that plays like right on curve. So if you bounce one of their units, it's probably never coming back. So the bounces are like a removal. So this turn we're gonna play Jonas's for three to bounce Ogdo Bogdo. I'm just gonna resource this. Uh, all right, I'll resource Victory Leader. So then next turn I can play Victory Leader and Highland Fighter. We'll hit this for five. I'm gonna hit them with the droid with the Republic Y-Wing first because if I get to choose which unit they're going to defeat. I'd rather defeat the 1-2. If they Kiadi, they don't get to draw. Um, so we could wait till next turn to bounce with the Jonas's for one. Um, and then by playing the Victory Leader, we're encouraging them to Shatter Point for four resources and not play Poe, which is great for us. We rather they not play Poe on four resources. We'll take the extra five damage from Monto Bogdo. It's fine. We don't need the shuttle because this is game one. I would keep the shuttle in the spot if this was game two or game three, and our opponent might have a bombing run. But because this is game one, it's unlikely. So the turn will be lurking tie and like Jonas probably. We'll hit with Victor Leader first. We'll hit Yadi Mundi. We'll hit with this. Oof, they claimed initiative. All right, 1821. Get 21. Right. Hi. Another thing is when they do play bombing run, you, playing Jonas's for one is essentially free because all the units are gonna die anyways. Right. I guess we don't need the Eager Escort Fighter. We can play these two this turn. Alright, that's fine. It's gonna deal 5 damage. Not a big deal. Opponent's gonna put us to 21 damage, and then they're gonna need two attacks to win the game. Whereas we're gonna put them 7, 8, 9. We're gonna put them at 20, and we're just gonna need one with a clone combat squadron to win the game. Um, let's see. Do we even? One of the things that we can do is hit them with the lurking tie when they play Han, and then what we can do is hit for 8, and we can try to get them to claim early by playing this now and scaring them into thinking that if they hit us, we're just going to claim and hit for 7, which is actually really good for us because we'll put them at 25, and then either of these two ships are lethal. So see, we save 3 damage by playing the combat squadron and making them claim, and then we can just empty our hand here. There's not much that they could do because the clone combat squadron is 9/9. It's going to defeat them in one action, and the rebellious hammerhead can't defeat it. So there's really not much they could do in the spot. I'm just going to resource card because I might play this, but it doesn't really matter. So unless they have a removal for the clone combat squadron, they just lose, and they do, which is fine because now it's going to take them all 3 of their units to defeat us, right? So all 3 of their attacks to do 12. So we have like 4 attacks to defeat them. So that works. All right. So they conceded. Oh, same person again. So we'll see again. We'll mulligan for the 1-drops. All right. So we got 3 1-drops. We have outmaneuver, and we have Jonas. So I'm gonna keep 2 1-drops. Jonas is outmaneuver, and the 2 1-drops that I'll keep the Republic Y wings just so we can play around Grogu. Just I'll keep resources in this. So without maneuver in our hand, it's hard to lose this matchup. It's possible, but it's hard. And so we also have the perfect counter for Grogu. Hmm. Here it's going to be tricky for what to resource, but we'll just resource the Phantom. The Phantom is not that important in this matchup. Right, opponent will do the 2 damage, so we'll attack with it first. Most likely to die. So now here, unless the opponent plays like red 4, we're just going to bounce Grogu. I'm fine with them healing with Yaddle. Yaddle doesn't represent that much healing, and the turn where Yaddle will restore for the most amount of HP is going to be the turn where we're going to outmaneuver anyways. So that's going to cancel a lot of restore. Like Yaddle restores for 1, but Grogu will defeat units that will end up being as much damage as Yaddle is restoring or more. Um, so we want to get rid of him. And then if they want to play him again next turn, that's fine because it's essentially taking the turn off, right? Here we get rid of Waylay. This turn we want to play Clone Combat Squadron, most likely. Yeah, so they played again. They play Grogu again, but they're essentially like losing this turn to be able to defeat the Republic Y-wing next turn. I'll just sit with this, but they can't play anything else unless they have a 2-drop. But like the 2 drops that they could play for 2 are not great. They already have Yaddle, so they're not really playing any other 2 drops. Okay, like Owen Lars doesn't do anything. Like those units restore, but they don't give us a clock. Like we're already at 4 resources, and the opponent has only dealt 2 damage. So like we're not in a rush to win this game at all. Here I'll keep the Mining Guild Fighter because we need to draw cards. Like the blue-red decks don't play any Sentinels. They used to run Concord Dawn Interceptors at the beginning of set 5, But that's a horrible card. No one runs it anymore. If they do run it, we're happy. So we force them to foul, and again, we're just slowing them down here. So we'll hit with this for one. So oh, that was a mistake. We should have hit with the Jonas Patrol Fighter, but really what we should have done is played Victory Leader. That was bad. That was a mistake. So we lost 4 damage basically. So I'll play it now. Yeah, so we basically lost 4 damage. That was just dumb. So it should be at 12. Oh, we do another outmaneuver, so we'll just resource Victory Leader. Uh, Like they have they've dealt 4 damage by the end of the 5 resource turn. They're not gonna win through 2 outmaneuvers, so we can afford 2 resource Victory Leader. Because even if they defeat Victory Leader here, it's just not gonna matter. Um, so let's see, they're at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18. We'll make a tie. We'll draw a card. If we leave them at 18, and they forgot to play Han last turn, that's great. If we leave them at 18, they'll heal. Maybe they'll heal for 4. So they'll be at 14. Um, so we don't even need to outmaneuver here because they're gonna have 5 actions. We're gonna have 7. All right. All right. Gonna start by hitting with this. Oh, they'll move. Yeah, they move the damage. That's fine. We weren't getting real to attack with both ties anyways. That's them restoring 1, right? 1 less. We'll make the tie here. We'll deploy Vader as the pilot on this. It's gonna have 7 hit points. So uh, Luke and Anakin doing -6/-6 won't be able to defeat it. We'll let him hit for 3. We're just at 9 anyways. Could hit for 6 with Mace. Put us up to 15. Won't really matter. So now if they defeat the guild, oh, we're not gonna resource here. If they defeat the mining guild, we still do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. Put them up to 23. Okay, he played Daddy Mundis. Now the game's pretty much just over. Actually, before we do it, I fixed it. There's no undo here. I asked for the cancel button to be put for maneuver. They'll just tap everything with 3 resources. They can't defeat the mining guild type fighters, so it's pretty much over. Right, plasma. And CL. All right. We have our 2/1 drops. We're happy. They have ECL, so that's um not great. Not too sure what this deck's gonna try to do. But we have Patrol Fighter and the shuttle, so we'll just resource Waylay and the Eager Escort Fighter. Right. I'm a big fan of just ignoring Legion General Pride and just taking all the indirect on the base. Uh, resource Starfighter. This is like the kind of hand that we like having going into 3 resource turn. Just like a bunch of answers to what our opponent can do. Let me call it damage on me. We'll hit with the mining guild. I'm not gonna draw. fine. That's great. So opponent's gonna lose their unit, and we're gonna make a tie. I guess they'll deal 1 damage to us, and we're just gonna bounce a Legion General. I like bouncing better than capturing, because the unit doesn't come back if they defeat our unit, and then if they do play it again, or if they defeat our unit with something that stays alive, we can probably just shuttle it anyways. We don't need 2 shuttles, so we're gonna resource 1. If our opponent does something that's relevant, we can shuttle it. If they don't do something that's relevant, we'll just play Victor Leader, and either way, we'll play the tile and fighter with it. See, they play Pride again. We'll just hit here. Right, they dealt 1 damage. We'll make a tie. Now they claimed. So here we can hit, we can capture Pride, we can play this, and now it's going to be hard for them to come back. We'll keep the 1-3 instead of the Starfighter. We like having 3 HP. Right, I guess they have to DCL that because they have nothing else that they can do. They have 3 resources left. I don't really want to um, play the Victory Leader right away in case they open fire it. Um, so I'll just deal some damage for now. I can this turn I can draw a card with Victor Leader if I want. Not a big deal. Uh, Here I don't want to attack with anything first because I want a Victor Leader. So I'll just make a tie. Play Phasma. Now I will play Victor Leader because I don't want to lose one of the ties to Phasma. Could have attacked with the tie first. And now if they open fire, it's fine. That's great. I'll hit base. I'm not gonna draw. I'll wait to see where they do the 1 damage with plasma to decide how I'm gonna defeat this first order TIE fighter. I'll just play this because I want to see what they're gonna do with their resources. They claimed. I'll send the tie into it. Like I'm ahead on damage. They have 12 HP left. I have 18. I have more damage on board. I don't want to give them an opportunity to come back into this game, so I'm just gonna defeat their units when I can. Here, Whaley is not gonna really do much. The best thing that they could do probably is play OB and defeat like Victory Leader and some other units. So I want to keep a replacement Victory Leader, and Whaley is not gonna do anything. Green Red Villainy doesn't have any good Sentinels in space anyways. All right, so they're hitting me. Again, I'm just gonna put all the damage on the base. Attack with Victory Leader first. Like they're not dealing 14 with Plasma. Here. So see, they have Barrage. So because we attacked with Victory Leader first, like we gain 2 damage because Victory Leader is giving me 5 extra damage, right? So they should defeat it. They should use the 3 resources to defeat it, and to defeat something else, we'll just play another Victory Leader. That's 2, 4, 7, 9. With Vader as an R5, that's 14. We'll put down to 29. Um, that should be game. They use Daring Raid on my base. They know the game is over. We'll draw to see. Oops. Right. All right. Anakin Blue Force. This is typically an easy matchup. Just have to be aware that they could play overwhelming barrage on 5 resources. This is like a really easy Hantu blue. They don't have anything. There's no good blue ships in space. All the ships in space are bad. mulligan for 2 1 drops. We didn't get it. Um, so we might need this to get rid of a Sentinel. Lurking Tie is not that useful in this matchup. Uh, Probably don't need Whaley either. Only having one aspect is a huge trade-off. Sure, they could play like all the villainy uh, cards, but they're not great, and they need the force. Like one of the good things about Power of the Dark Side is you can play it as your first action on 3 resources to get rid of the other person's unit, but they can never do that with their deck. Um, all right, we'll get rid of the defender, I guess. Yeah, this turn I'm either playing Shuttle or Victory Leader or this. I can get rid of the 7 speed defender. All right, they played Yoda, which means that they're not going to be able to defeat Republic Y-Wing or the TIE, which means that we're going to be able to capture Yoda with our shuttle. We're capturing Yoda because Yoda just restores more. And then this is a good setup to play Victory Leader next. We're going to resource Solus when Guild TIE Fighters better. So this is a good setup to play like Victory Leader this turn because they're incentivized to like take down or something on the shuttle and defeat it. And then if they do that, we can just put leader and do more damage. And their overwhelming barrage is going to be really slow because they're going to have to attack. They're going to have to play Anakin. They're going to have to, know, use. They're going to have to attack, play Anakin, do it, to do 6 damage. It's going to be a lot. So they just attack here. We're going to attack with the shuttle first, in case they have like shatter point. If they have shatter point or a removal, uh, the shuttle is clearly what they want to remove. So we want to attack. Usually, we want to attack with the unit that our opponent wants to remove most first. So that if they do remove it, at least we still got the damage in. Sorry, cancel that. Now they played this. So this turn, we're just gonna play Victory Leader, do more damage, and then get rid of both ties to bounce Seattle. Um, I mentioned this a lot, but when you don't have Victory Leader, bouncing 2 ties to play a Jonas's um, patrol fighter uh, gives you 1 extra damage, and it saves you um, 1 action to get the damage in. And when you do have Victory Leader, it gives you the same amount of damage, but it saves you 1 action. So it's always like 95% of the time, you'd rather have the Jonas's Patrol Fighter than the 2 ties, anyways. This turn, we're probably not going to bounce anything with this, but we want to keep it in case they get Yoda back. We're going to probably play this tree drop. They can do 6 damage. They're, they're just going to defeat 1 unit with Barrage. They're just going to defeat Victory Leader. Um, so we'll just get rid of 7 Fleet Defender. I guess we'll keep 7 Fleet Defender in case they have another barrage. But I could play all 3 of these cards this turn if I play bonus patrol for 1. Attack with Victory Leader first. What I was thinking about barrage being slow here is that they couldn't play it first action. They had to attack with the warrior to get the force, I believe. Like now they could play it. Oh, they have force lightning. All right, which is pretty much their whole turn, anyways. Um, all right, so we'll just get our damage in. We're not gonna play Jonas Patrol Fighter this turn. I guess we are because we're gonna bounce Seattle now. We're gonna play it for 3 and then play the Mining Guild for 1. I think it's gonna hit us. Fine, our opponent's gonna have initiative. This is what happens against these blue decks sometimes, where you just uh, you just spend your whole life uh, bouncing their units. They don't really do much. Here we're gonna play 2 units. We don't need to shuttle. If anything happens and our board gets shrunk a lot. We just play Lurking Tie and we can put Vader on it. Even if they do Barrage here. Oh, look at that. They play Concordant Interceptors. That's great. Um, so this isn't gonna change anything. Um, we'll send one of these into it. Then we'll send this, and we'll have 11 damage on the board. We don't need to talk. Just play these two units, and they don't have enough damage to finish this off in that many actions. Let's see what they do with the other three resources. All right, good Yaddle. We have one resource left. We might put Vader on here. They claim. All right, we don't have to resource anything. So then, if their first action isn't defeating Vader, we just win. If it's like playing a Sentinel, either Vader can defeat the Sentinel or the Lurking Tie Phantom can defeat the Sentinel. We would have liked to have Waylay, but it is what it is. Pretty sure we can get by without Waylay. All right, they force lightning Vader. Um, so can we defeat them in 3 actions? We'll put them to 26. They'll restore to 25, and then one of these. Sorry, we put them to 27, and then they restore to 26, and then any we have 2 ships, we just win. Right, right. King and blue. Oh, this guy's not interested in playing us. No one wants to play. It's to be expected that at this time of the set cycle, there's less people playing. Everyone's moving on to testing set 6. There's like not very many PQs or other events left in the season. Doesn't want to test either. So it is to be expected. All right, Bosky CL. I had someone ask me what to do against Boss Park. Sounds somewhat similar. All right, so I have 2 1-drops. They're not great 1-drops because they have 1 HP, but it is what it is. I'm not gonna mulligan and try to get better 1-drops. Uh, it is what it is. We'll just have to make it work. All right, so the Elite T-38 is probably going to be good because they have lots of ships with 4 HP and it gets rid of them. We won the Clone Combat Squadron. I don't think we need Waylay. And the Eager Escort Fighter is probably better, than the Elite um, T-38. So we'll keep those. All right, Lute Sengar. Um, right, we played this unit first because it's our weaker one. We rather our opponent defeats this one and leaves the other one alone. Right, they get to defeat it with Sengar. Rough start. Hopefully they don't get like punishing one here. Right, that's fine. Say this. Right, they claim. maybe they have another upgrade. We're gonna keep outmaneuver because it's good, and we'll get rid of eager escort fighter because we want to get a unit on the board. But if they have two upgrades, they'll just get rid of our whole board. And it is what it is. So, so here we're lucky. They let us attack, so we're gonna get to make a token. Yeah, they play punishing one, so we're gonna do one damage here. Okay, so now if they defeat something else, um, we can just finish it off with one of these most likely. I'd like to keep lurking TIE Fighter. Let's see, 379 will put us up to 25. 25, 25 plus 13 is 28. We probably need the No Good to Me Dead. Next turn. This turn we probably want to play this anyways. Guess we'll resource Electrify. So our first action is usually going to be to defeat this. Unless they attack with it, then our first action will be to attack here. So we can make a tie. Okay, now we can play the combat squadron. It's 6/6. So it's not going to get defeated this turn. Oops, I forgot to attack this. That was bad. Alright, so opponent claimed, which is great for us. Maybe they have um, overwhelming barrage. If they have overwhelming barrage, they can wipe our board because of this. They can wipe our board, right? They'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and our board will be wiped. I guess it's a chance we have to take because I mean we're not winning this game through overwhelming barrage, unfortunately. Um, so we'll take a chance. Um, Resource Type Fighter, we can just play the shuttle. If he barrages, we can no get to be dead. Knights of the Ren and play the shuttle. All right, opponent DCL. So yeah, so this is good for us. This is really good for us here because we can shuttle, take Knight of Ren, and when they play Bosk, we can no get to me dead Bosk. All right, so this was actually one of the better things that could happen for us. Right, and now we have 4, 5, 7 HP on board, and if they overwhelming barrage, one of our units is going to survive. So we're actually pretty happy with this. Uh, I don't think we need no get to me dead anymore because we have outmaneuver, so we can resource the no get to me dead. We want to play the defender. If opponent does not have a barrage here, they're in trouble. All right. So again, we'll attack with the shuttle first to incentivize them to defeat something else, so they don't get Knights of Ren back. We're not in the rush to play Vader, and we're likely going to play Vader on the ground in this game. We don't want to get blown out by disabling Fang Fighter or something. If Vader does 5 damage, they only have 25 HP. It's great. So they played Toro on the ground, so there's a chance that um they might just leave space open. The important thing is that we just don't want to die in one action next turn, so we can outmaneuver. So now they're passing. So they probably have disabling Fang Fighter. So what we can do is we can just make our tie first, and we want to delay them as long as possible. We want to keep them passing and get in as many attacks as possible, right? So we'll do everything that we need to do. Because if they claim, we could always just play it here and get the two ties, right? So now, no matter what we decide, they'll probably uh, do their thing. Because now it's obvious that we're not going to put Vader in space. Alright, so they claim. We'll deploy them on the ground. And now they're in a tough spot. They need to defeat Vader, or else they just lose. We're not going to resource everything. Everything's free, so that's so see, most of the games we just don't have we just don't have to put Vader in space most of the games. Unless our opponent lets us do it. Uh but most of the time it's fine to just play him on the ground. Alright, so Smoke Red. We just have to be careful for um big overwhelming barrage. So Waylay is pretty good, Outmaneuver is pretty good. All our bounce cards are like super good. Electrify is okay. Um again, I'm just gonna keep the we could keep the more HP stuff to survive overwhelming barrage. I'll get rid of this, and I'll get rid of the Archetype Phantom. It's nice against these types of decks, but it's not super important. Plus, there's a chance that they might go into space as well, in which case it just becomes not good. All right, so opponent's gonna put an XP on it. Um, pass. Get rid of this. Keep this. Still gonna keep outmaneuver because I'm not convinced that all of opponent's deck is space. Smoke decks usually play some amount of ground units. I'll just send this into this. I want to keep their units off the board so they can't have a super big barrage as much as possible. All right. Make a tie. Play this. So now, if they put an XP on this, we can attack with the TIE Fighter first, so that when they trade into Victory Leader, they lose. They lose both. We both lose our units. We'd like to attack with Victory Leader first, but fortunately we can't. Maybe we can just attack base with Victory Leader. And then we'll keep the two combat squadrons, or maybe I'll keep one of the cold combat squadrons and we'll keep the food defender. Alright. So we'll just get rid of this chair. Because there's a chance that they're all space if they play a 4-3 like that. So here we're gonna put our 7th fleet defender with our shield. Now they can't really put an XP on this because if they do, we're just gonna attack into it. All they did. So we'll just claim, we'll just attack into it. I'd like to keep both of these cards. I'm gonna get rid of outmaneuver now because they looks like they're all space. So we'll send this here, and then they could send their first order tie into us if they want. Yeah, then we'll just make a TIE fighter. Now that we have Whaley and no get to be dead. All right. Um, that's kind of not fun for us though. Now if we play Clone Combat Squadron and they claim, we're just in trouble. We can get lucky and hope that they get greedy and put an XP on IG-88, but I don't think it's gonna happen. All right. Oh, they did. If they hadn't and they took the trade, it would have been okay. We would have just deployed Vader on the ground and tried to race, but they got greedy. So now we'll just be able to waylay, and then when they play IG again, we'll just send the escort. And right, there's a chance that they try to OB here. Hmm. What are the odds that they have the Leaping Fang Fighter main deck? Pretty good. If we put it here, they have the Leaping Fang Fighter. Vader's gonna get die to OB anyways if we go ground. Alright, so we'll put Vader here. I think it's more likely they have overwhelming barrage than disabling Fang Fighter or Craven Power. Sure. So I'm just playing around that. So now we'll get to me dead here. Hit for 10. There's a decent chance they have another one. If they do, that's fine. We're not gonna resource. We're gonna want to play these two. Hopefully they have overwhelming barrage. But anyways, this is what their deck is, and we had a really slow start to their space start. So it is what it is. Well, that's great for us. Again, we're not going to read this anything. All right. So we're in trouble. This is, what we're in. I'll maneuver the ground here to save 6 damage so they don't get to put an XP on anything. We gotta let them hit us. Uh, let them hit us once. It matters. Hit this first. Yeah, there's a chance they play because they claim it's good. Let it quick back. They don't get anything. All right, now we have a decent hand to come back as long as they don't have another overwhelming barrage. All right, Ruthless Raider. Um, I think we can take some more damage here. 16, 19. We can't. I don't think we can take any more damage. Not sure what we can do here. I don't really want to outmaneuver, but I don't really have a choice. Right? Opponent's only gonna hit us for 10 this turn. Only defeat us next turn. There's not much we can do. They have 9 resources too, and they have 9 cards. We're just dead here. Oh yeah, they have a Devastator. Alright, that's it. Yeah, that type of deck is hard, and they seem like they added a lot of space at the beginning of the game. So it's hard for us to win those matches. Alright, so Bosky Seal again. They're not interested in playing. Too bad, because I think that matchup is pretty interesting. I think we win more often than we lose, but it's still an interesting matchup. Alright, on 1 yellow. Alright, so we have 1/1 drop, mulligan. Alright, Opponent decided not to mulligan, so they're slightly more likely to. Well, usually they'd be if against the known player that you know is good, it would mean that they have Falcon. But now because we don't know this person, they're more likely to have Falcon. But he did hesitate a while before. We don't have a great hand. We have 1/1 drop. We really need this if they play a Falcon. Uh, Shield is good. We probably don't get to do this for a while. And I really want to keep no good to me dead. Actually, it's 1/1 yellow. It's not as yeah. We'll keep the no good to me dead, but it's close between no good to me dead and combat squadron. There's a chance combat squadron won't be great because we're gonna lose the space war from just having one drop. I'm still gonna play my one drop into their Falcon and force them to think about whether they want to bounce it back to their hand or not. Because if they choose to bounce it back to their hand after, um, I could just play the 7th. All right. I'd rather the clone combat squadron shuttle. All right. So I will play this, not not give them an opportunity to play Han or anything on it, and I can make a token now. Play liberated slave. Fine. Claim. All right. Now we're gonna keep outmaneuver because it's pretty good against them sometimes. We can just resource the 7th Fleet Defender. This turn we can play Clone Combat Squadron, most likely, and then next turn we can play 7th Fleet, and they'll get to me dead on Han. Stop them from going up to 7 resources. Alright, opponent's just dealing a ton of damage. It's fine, we have outmaneuver. We might get a bounce somewhere along the way, so that'll be fine. Hit them for 1. Probably just claim here. If they put a card down and play a 2-drop, we're happy to. We have outmaneuver. Alright, so now we also have Waylay, so we can bounce the Liberated Slaves at some point if we really need to. So this turn we want to go and look at speed dead 7th fleet. We want to keep these cards because they're good. So we'll resource the tile in it. If he plays like a Falcon or something first action, I'm sending the combat squadron into it. And if for some reason they cunning and go like exhaust +4, I'll just waylay them. I'll just waylay them and then I'll have look at me dead for Han. And it's not going to be good for them. I think that covers most of what they probably do. So they waylaid. Uh, all right, I guess. Um, I'm still gonna just play the 7th Fleet Defender and I'll get to me that Han. I will just play this on 6R. Fine. We're a bit behind on the race, but if they're gonna put a resource, we'll just soft pass. Even though it doesn't really matter, we could just full pass. We'll get dead. There's a decent chance they play something here. 3 resources. So they're thinking about it, then they don't really have a Falcon. All right. All right. So here we probably want to play these two maybe. Probably Clone Combat and this, and then next turn play this. I don't know that we need the waylay. I don't know. We're gonna play Vader on the ground. Maybe Vader on the ground to defeat this. I don't know that we need the waylay. There's just the waylay. We'll see. I really want to play two cards this turn. I guess the opponent will decide what two cards we're playing. Oh no, the defeated here. Yeah. I really want to play two cards this turn, which is why I'm not using the waylay because I don't want to play outmaneuver and waylay, and I don't want to play victor leader and waylay, but I want to keep both victor leader and outmaneuver. And the only way I can play two cards with Karabast is if I also play this. Start by attacking with this so we can make her tie. Alright, so opponent plays Kira. So now they're going to decide what our turn's going to be for us. Either they're going to say victor leader and we'll play Combat Squadron and Droid Starfighter, or they'll say Combat Squadron and we'll play the other two, and maybe we'll just never play Combat Squadron. Or they might just say outmaneuver. But then we could play outmaneuver for 6 turns. Alright, so they named Victor Leader. Um, so we're gonna make a tie. We're gonna try to run them out of actions here, so we can decide what to do with Vader. So they're passing. I'm guessing they have Bamboozle in their hand, so there's no way I'm gonna play Vader in space. But what's good about Bamboozle is that if I play Vader as my last action on the ground, they'll probably Bamboozle him anyways, and I'll have initiative next. So we'll play our cards. They saw our hand, so nothing we do is gonna take them by surprise. If they do have Bamboozle, they might as well just use it here anyways, because that's the best use that they're gonna have. So they had Bamboozle, of course, because why else would they pass with 2 resources? And then we get to claim and attack with Vader anyways, so it didn't change anything. Um, and now we have a super good hand. We can play this and bounce Liberated Slaves after we attack with Vader, because if they have a blaster, they'll want to use Han to defeat Vader. Um, so there's nothing really I want to resource. I'm not gonna end up waylaying, outmaneuvering, and Jonas's patrol fightering anyways. So we're not gonna resource anything, and we'll hit 5. I'd rather hit for 5 than attack with the Clone Combat Squadron here, because they they're more likely to be able to defeat Vader than to do something about the Clone Combat Squadron. Like if they play Memphis Nest, she can't bounce Combat Squadron. All they have for this is waylay. All right, or another copy of Bamboozle, but now they just get outmaneuvered and skip their turn. Right? And this is saving me 12 damage, plus they don't get the resource with Han. So depending on what they have in their hand, they might not even have a turn. And we're going to bounce the Liberated Slaves this turn by getting rid of a tie. Uh, so this is like a really big turn for us. And they have tech, so now we're just going to start dealing damage. Tech can be somewhat annoying here. Um, but it's probably still better to bounce the Liberated Slave. The the two cost extra to play cards is still pretty big. Um, so we're gonna get rid of a tie and save ourselves 5 damage next turn. Now our opponent has 9 damage on the board. They're not defeating us unless they have 2 surprise strikes or are cutting in a surprise strike. And if they do that, we drew shuttle, but we also had waylay to protect ourselves from that. Um, so if you want to play Victor Leader, that costs 6. Otherwise, we'll play these 2 cards. We're not going to play the Paladin Fighter, but there's no point in resourcing it because we're not playing for 7 resources anyways. We're just going to keep it. Opponent also needs to like deal with Vader because like now we're ahead on the damage base, right? And we have more damage on board. They have 9 damage on board. We have 12, 13, 16, 19, 20. So like we have lethal on board and they do not. They have 9 damage on board compared to our 20. Plus they know that we could possibly have Victor Leader. Victor Leader represents 5 damage by itself, right? So they really need to do something with our cards now. The onus is the whole game. The onus was on us to catch up to the race because we were pretty far behind, right? And now all of a sudden, because of the outmaneuver turn, it's up to them to catch up on the damage. And they had 2 bamboozles. Bamboozle saved them 12 damage, right? Oh, they decided to hit us with this, which is all right, I guess. Not sure how we lose this from here. I guess. No, we have Waylay. Not sure how we lose from here. Um, not sure how we lose. We'll hit them for 7. All right. We'll just capture tech. We can't hotshot blaster for the win. Note that yes, we drew the shuttle, but we also had Waylay, and with the 3 resources that they had left, playing the Falcon 3 wasn't going to be enough to win. So we weren't losing that game from that point. All right, here, let's go play against Anakin Blue Force. All right, let's start. This matchup can be rough if they have Jedi Starfighter in their deck and they start with it. If they don't start with it, then it's okay. So if I was them and I had it in my deck, I would definitely mulligan for it. They did not mulligan, so if they're a decent player, then that would mean that they have Jedi Starfighter. We just have one drop. We'll keep the 2 3s. Um, good to me that is okay in this matchup. Waylay doesn't matter too much. Uh, and I'll keep the outmaneuver. I'd rather have outmaneuver than no good. Usually Anakin's attack on 6 resources won't be enough. They do have the Jedi Starfighter, so there's no point in us playing Soulless one, because they'll just defeat it and they won't even take 2 damage. We can stay here and keep it for later. I will just send the Aggro SWU fighter into them. We have a lot of 1 drops. We'll get rid of this one. Next turn too, we could play 1 drop shuttle and capture something. If they don't have another space unit. They have Marin, so that's not great either. We'll make her tie. At least Marin won't be able to defeat anything, and we can bounce her with this now. So I don't think we'll need 2 outmaneuvers. Our resource 1. If Marin doesn't defeat the tie, we'll play 1 drop. We'll capture Marin. And if she does, we'll play the Republic Y-Wing. And Mining Guild, I guess. Yeah, yeah. It's fine too. Marin can defeat our units. It gets rid of cards in our opponent's hand. All right. I guess. I guess now we're just bouncing Marin. All right. Now we're just bouncing Marin. That was greedy. All right. So this turn we could play 2/1 drops and capture Marin. I'll keep the outmaneuver. Guess I'll resource this because my turn is probably going to be this. Any space unit they play, I should be able to shuttle. They pass. I guess they don't want to play a Jedi Starfighter. Or they have bombing run? Oh, okay. Or they want to just heal. That's fine. I'm just gonna play all my units. Like their Anakin is gonna do no damage next turn. Right. Guess this is a shuttle game. Alright. So they'll hit us for 4. We're gonna try to attack with our weaker units first because we don't wanna give Anakin extra attack before he actually hits us. But it's possible our opponent will just pass uh until we're done most of our turn. Uh we'll try to play Vader up in space. But if we can't, there's also a possibility that we just hold Vader as a leader. Um, in this matchup, Vader on a lurking tie is like super strong. They don't really have a way to defeat Vader on a lurking tie. So if they're not putting any pressure on us, it's possible that we just hold out in the hopes of drawing a lurking tie. We haven't drawn one yet, and we're like at over 50% to have one by this time in the game, and we have the Mining Guild fighter to draw some cards. So so yeah, so there's a possibility that I'm just gonna attack with this first. It does 3 damage, and I want to make sure I do 3 before it dies. But I can stay below 5 for like 2 actions. There's a chance that they have Anakin here, and they'll just defeat 2 units. They play the Adel, make a tie. For sure, we're not getting over 10 damage before they attack with Anakin. At least we have a shuttle for Yaddle, so that's good too. Okay, they're playing Anakin. So we'll attack with a tie, leave them at 4, try to get them to attack us. They could also play like a Jedi lightsaber on Anakin. They played one earlier in this game, so on Marin. That might mean that they have a like one for Anakin. If they do, we'll just take the 7 damage. If we take the 7 and go up to 13, we don't. So that's fair that. Um, so we'll attack with this. We're trying to get them to use the resources. Again, if they if they hold their resources, we'll just put Vader on the ground. Although in this matchup, we'd really rather put him in space. All right, we're gonna draw a card with Time Shield here. That's good. We can save both. Now they claim. So now we have to decide if to decide a lot. First of all, I'm gonna play Vader uh, base because he's too easy for my opponent to defeat him. And if they take an action to defeat Vader in space with like a Leveling tank fighter, uh, we're okay with that as well because then we can just outmaneuver. And so I'm not sure if I want to. That'll restore three. So 1, 2, 5, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'll do 12. Put them up to 27. Put them up to 29. So if Yaddle restores three, I'm not winning. But this will possibly take three three power away from me. But then I'll win on the next turn. So I'll take Yaddle away. All right. Again, I'm not gonna resource it. Cause I'm not gonna use. I'm not gonna play this and get rid of two plays to play this. I'm just gonna. First action, opponent defeat Vader, or they're pretty much. Then if they do defeat Vader, we're just up. Yeah, they have force fighting. So this is gonna cost them all their resources to defeat Vader. So the game is just over. We're just gonna outmaneuver, ground, and out. All right, right. Tarkin blue. Tarkin could be a rough matchup too. If you don't have bounces early on in the game, right? No one drops, easy mulligan. All right, one drop. A lot of rough games with only one with only a one drop today, but at least we haven't had any with no one drop. That might be okay in this matchup, but we really want to play around uh barrage, so I'll keep the shuttle. We can go one resource, three resources, four resources. Maybe keep the waylay. I'll resource the waylay. Just, there's like 11 other cards in our deck that will do what waylay does. All right, we're gonna play this. Hope that he puts XP or something on before attacking. All right, so this is pretty good with the elite P38. We have another set of fleet, so now we can resource the shuttle. Shuttle resource one of the 7 fleet defenders. All right, so they attack into it. We'll play the P38 and deal one here, and then if they power of the dark side, we can get rid of Eternal Core. All right, so they played the mission, which is fine. Uh, Pretty good. Now we're gonna attack with the Elite P38 to be able to make a token. It's better than the 7th fleet. We could still XP with it. Our resources don't get to be dead. All right. I'm gonna deal the 1 damage. Now we can make a tie. Let's see if you put an XP technician. Does not. So because he didn't put XP, next turn they can barrage for 4. Not great for us, so we can just play the 7th speed defender here. I don't want to get barrage for 4 and lose one combat squadron. This is better because I can have more units to pick one combat squadron. I'll here's where it's at. I can play these two this turn or these two. Um, I'll attack with the shielded one first because the possibility that they can be playing takedown. Alright, now we really have to play one combat squadron this turn. Play Parkin this turn. They're gonna get greedy. If they get greedy, I could kill the shuttle and put a shield on the combat squadron. I would do it if I was them. Get greedy. They're pretty far ahead. Unless I have outmaneuver, I'm not gonna do great this game. Alright, let's see if we can draw outmaneuver. Arnold dead. We're gonna lose this turn. 8, 10, 12, 15. I can't deal 23, can I? 7, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23. I can if they don't have barrage. Alright. Oh man, I can't win anymore. Can't win unless the opponent decides to attack with the super laser technician. I should have kept one of those bounces. Right, this is an interesting match too. Alright, I have the 2 1-drops. I want to keep the outmaneuver, so I'm gonna keep the 2 1-drops. This I don't really like the 7th lead defender in this matchup because the shuttle will just steal the shield. They play shuttle ST 149. So I'll keep, but I'll resource this. Uh, and I don't think I need outmaneuver because they have energy conversion lab. We're faster than them. If they go ground, then we go space, and if they go space, we just don't need it. Also, I have the When start that they have a ship is rough, right? When combat squadron is strong against them, so we'll resource this. All right, and this is how you throw games. So at this point in the game, there's over a 75% chance that we have Jonas's Waylay, No Good to Me Dead, or the shuttle in our hands. So opponent decided to gamble that we didn't have them. There's like a 25% chance that we don't have them. And if we do have any of those cards, we pretty much lose on the spot. Especially if the card we have is either Jonas's um, or the shuttle. So basically, they didn't do anything the first two turns of the game. So I'm gonna keep the shuttle here in case ECLs defeat something and puts the shield on the shuttle. Uh, I'll just resource the one drop because I don't mind playing like this and not having to win. So they have another item that they put on the ground. So now we just have to be careful for overwhelming barrage. So we can just attack all our units. If the overwhelming barrage item will do 7, so 7 damage can either defeat the clone combat squadron or or all our other units and leave clone combat squadron alive. So we're gonna play combat squadron and let them pick what they want to do. And then if they do whatever they do decide, we could play like 2 units with a shield on the clone combat squadron maybe, or are these 2 units? We don't really need this anymore. They have craving power, so they only have one option. Uh, so again, now they're gonna deal 7 damage, but we're gonna do a ton. Basically, by playing the Clone Combat Squadron, we're forcing them to play Craving Power, and it's not doing much for them to play it. If they don't have it, they just lose. But it's not doing much for them to have it. And now we could play this, and basically here again, we're forcing them to have Overwhelming Barrage and Wiper Board, and get hit for 4 with Lurking Tie, and get hit for 5 by Vader. Um, Now we have Whaley too, so if they overwhelming barrage with Whaley Iden, then the game is really over. So we'll keep the Lurking Tide because of this. Like we're making it so they can't deal with their whole board with one card by playing the Lurking Tide. Yeah, Traitorous is good, but it doesn't really matter. We could kind of ignore the Lurking Tie. We'll just hit for 3, put them to 18, and then we have 2 units that can go and put them to 20, and then Vader will finish the game. So they hit with Iden. We'll just hit for 2. They can hit for 5, put us to 19, and then it's just over. Now they play Gar 2. At this point, I could have waylaid the Lurking Tide. Swing Vader. All right, go Fed for Data Vault. So this is a good matchup too. It's pretty close. I think we have a small edge. A lot of people disagree with me concerning that. The one drop to a mulligan, and we have two one drops. Against this deck, I'm gonna keep the the one drops to the 1 HP. I like to have one so I can defeat the Kylo's ship or the 4-2 droid platform, and we'll keep this one. We can resource this. Outmaneuver is not very important in this matchup, but Waylay is. So we'll resource that way. They have the 1-3, which is fine. They'll hit us for 3, and then defeat we'll defeat it. And maybe if we're lucky, they'll just play Vader Pilot, and we'll just waylay it. Um, so this turn, I'd rather play this uh, than the Lurking Tie, but I'd rather play the Lurking Tie next turn than keep this and have two drops next turn. And waylay is like super important. So, all right, so they have to attack my unit, which is fine. Here we can just defeat their unit for free. They kind of have to control my board, or else sure they'll do like 3 damage, but we'll wipe out their board and they're not gonna have anything. They want to try to keep a ship around so that they can put Boa Fett on a ship at the uh beginning of 6R, right? So here we could put Lurking Tie Phantom, but we're not going to do that because we don't want to trade Lurking Tie Phantom into whatever they're gonna play on 4R. So because we want to amass the board, we want to play 7 fleet, be able to defeat what they play, and then we'll have the Lurking Tie for later. Okay, this is good. Clone Combat Squadron is like really strong against them, much better than Lurking Tie. So we'll resource the Lurking Tie. This deck has a hard time dealing with Dornian Gunship because it's like a 4-6 on 5R, and like Ruthless Raider because it's a 4-6 on 6R. We need to be able to defeat Boba's units in one action so that he can't deploy Boba Fett on them. Like the Dornian on 5R, we have more than one action, but the Ruthless Raider, or if he plays the Dornian on 6R, we need to defeat them in one action. I just put all the damage on my base for now. Opponents will deal more indirect at some point in the game. There's going to be plenty of time to put them on our unit. I'm going to attack with the TIE first because the 7th Fleet Defender with a shield is not dying to anything opponent plays. The opponent plays this. So now we're going to want to defeat this, right? And to defeat it, um, we could play the Victory Leader and then defeat it. So that's what we're going to do. Play the Victory Leader. Defeat it. Lose our shield. Make it tie. Now we have a pretty good board. And this is good too because we can get rid of this now. Or we can keep the. We don't need to keep two combat squads because we're going to play one this turn, and then next turn we're going to play this and waylay whatever big ship they play. So we can resource. It's okay that we're falling behind on the damage race because once we start doing damage to their base, once Boba Fett is on the ground, we're going to catch up quick. Already they have 3 damage on the board compared to our like 30. What I like doing here is since I've got nothing that's going to die to IG, and I would like my opponent to play IG, I could put 1 damage on the tie. I'm also not against just like attacking one tie and losing 2 damage to save damage off my base. And then this unit we could use to trade into something like if they play Dornian Gunship, we're gonna trade these two into Dornian Gunship. So it's good that we put indirect damage. But we can't be sure, which is why we didn't fill these up with damage and leave them at like 1 HP because then we're just asking to get IG'd. opponent resupplied, which is great because now with two resources, there's no way they're getting a ship to stick. So now we just have to get ready to survive an overwhelming barrage for six. Um, right, so now overwhelming barrage is not gonna leave them with in a great position, and then we'll be able to outmaneuver if they fight the barrage and then play this and capture that. Right, or maybe even just kill it. Maybe even just defeat it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just defeat it. We're gonna keep waylaying in case they play a big ship. Oh, they played open fire. Uh, do we want to outmaneuver now? I don't think we need to outmaneuver now. We definitely do this. Here we have to take one damage. Uh, I don't mind putting. Actually, I do mind. They could still play IG 2000. So I'm just gonna defeat one of my TIE fighters. All right, hit this. Opponent is passing. They probably have a disabling tank fighter. I'm just gonna put Vader on the ground. So if they do play a ship or whatever, I can combat squadron can still defeat it, or I can still waylay it. See, they have the disabling tank fighter. Um, and then here, I don't think it matters if they have the disabling tank fighter. I think we can just hit them for 7, and then we're gonna see what happens because an overwhelming barrage for 6. Either they take care of space or they take care of Vader, but either way, we're gonna win this game. We can resource the waylay here because no ship that they play is really gonna do much here. And there's a possibility don't ever see myself playing these two cards together. Actually, we just won't resource anything. I don't see myself playing shuttle here. Alright, well this is not gonna do much. Like this leaves Vader alive. Vader puts them to 1. So also leaves them without a way of defeating Vader after, unless they put 2 damage on Vader, but then the clone combat squadron stays alive. So we definitely can't really lose the game anymore. They can't defeat the clone combat squadron. So because they can't defeat the clone combat squadron and Vader, we're sure to do the 8 damage that we're missing, or the 6 damage that we're missing. That's hard. I don't know, it's taking so long. Maybe opponent's clicking for the undo button. Alright. Okay. Well, the game's over. Grievous thermal oscillator. Alright, I have no idea what this deck is gonna be. It's gonna have a bunch of sentinels. Alright. There are a lot of droid starfighters. There's at least 2, right? There's a droid starfighter, there's the swarming vulture. What does it do when he flips an attack? +1/+0 sentinel. I don't think this is gonna be much of a problem, but we never know. No, I'll keep the two ones. I'll reserve 0-2. I'll keep the outmaneuver. These equals form on the ground. We'll keep, you I don't really care about playing these matchups online. The odds of having them at a big event are like super low. I wish I could just true dodge really. I understand that true dodging sucks for people that just want to play for fun, but it certainly saves time testing. I'll keep this so I can defeat this, and then I'll keep this in case I have to do something in space. And I'll just get rid of the one drop. I could probably just get rid of outmaneuver, but it looks like he's gonna have a swarm deck. I don't know why would he play a 3-1 sentinel when he can play like a one drop that's 3-1. I'm not sure. All right, I'll keep outmaneuver. I'm just keeping outmaneuver because I don't see how I lose to this deck unless I get unlucky and get swarmed. Is this free? That's free. All right. It is a droid. Eh, swipe the board here. Actually, I should have played the elite. Should have played the elite 38 first. I would have saved 3 damage. Yeah, that was dumb. Sometimes I just get too focused on these. When does this come out? On 6? It is 4. I don't see myself needing them here. I'll play the 2-3. Alright. So I'll play the 4-3 that we're just gonna bounce. Here I like not attacking with the elite P38 because it defeats a unit that has 4 HP. I guess I'll just ignore this. I guess I'll just ignore this. Give him Sentinel. Eh, bounce this. Play this. I don't know. I should have just kept the eager escort fighter. He's a bigger droid ship. Doesn't do anything. That was their whole turn. I mean, we're not doing anything with our turn, anyways. Eh, just trying to get them to use their resources, like open fire or something, so I know I don't have to worry about a sentinel. And if they do, yes, then I just have extra damage on board to get rid of it. All right. Gator green. Sometimes these matchups can be hard, uh, depending on what jobs we have. This, I usually keep hands like this, and I'm not thrilled about it. Like our deck has 9 events, and we have 4 of them in our hands. This is like a hand similar to the hand that I kept in against Mike in Portland in game 3, and that like my hand got nowhere. I have 4 of the 9 events. The odds of drawing an event are like super low, and and I managed to do it against Mike. Um, keep the no get to me dead for Vader. I keep one outmaneuver. I'll keep a waylay in case. Sorry. I keep the outmaneuver and the no get to me dead. I get rid of the waylay. It's not good for us. This is better. I don't really want to keep the one drop as because we have no units. We kind of like have to get rid of the outmaneuver because I didn't start with the one drop. I should be able to sanction or shuttle something here. Yeah, there's a good chance we just sanction or shuttle this unit, so we're not gonna attack to this. Oh, that was bad. Doesn't matter. We weren't giving able to shuttle without giving them the opportunity to do this. Um, Now do I want to play this and then have them trade into this? Hmm. Guess I have to play this. If I can defeat this without dying, we'll play all of these. All right. So at this point, we're gonna lose to Barrage probably. So we just have to go for it. Hope that they don't have Barrage. 'Cause like we didn't draw any good units. We could have drawn Clone Combat Squadron, Victor Leader would have been good too in the spot. We didn't draw any of these, so we're just gonna dump our hand and pray. All right. Opponent seems to be just as confused as we are. Great. All right. So they attack our guy. So we're just gonna hit base so we can make a tie. I don't want to hit this unit because if I do, he could play a villainy card and just hit me for one. All right. So okay. So he puts come back in his hand because he wants to play it again and be able to ping one. So now this turn though we can hold off on creating a tie for a while. I guess they'll ramp and then they'll play solutions from. Yeah. Opponent will deal one damage here and one damage to our base. Oh, we built the damage to our unit instead. Yeah, maybe they just don't realize that they can damage their tech. Maybe they have overwhelming barrage. I don't know. If they have barrage, they have barrage one, two, three, four. They'll take most of our board away. What's this? Keep seventh fleet defender. The shield might be relevant because the barrage are another space unit at some point, or might look up a Vader ping. Right, I guess that's why. We'll send. This isn't gonna kill anything, right? All right. Guess we'll send this to base. This is gonna die to whatever it attacks, and then um, gonna leave these alive. Yeah. So I was. There's a pretty good chance they were gonna do that. So now I can just use the tie to trade off this. Okay. Tie. I'll play the seventh fleet. I'll defeat this over here with this. So now, yeah, his Vader comes out on 7. So now I think I'm ahead. I can use No Good to Me Dead on Vader. I don't think we need Waylay. I think I'm ahead because one hasn't ran. One needs to ramp like 2 turns ago. All right. We need No Good to Me Dead to jam Vader because that's 2 damage to a unit every time he attacks. The unit can't handle that. All right. So he resupplied, which means Vader is going to come on this turn. He'll ping a unit for 1. I'll resupply his color. Anyways, I'll hit with this first. Make sure we get the damage in. Right. So opponent finally ran through the super laser tech. Uh, now that it's not really necessary. So we get to deal an extra damage with our tie that should have died to. Oh no no right. Alright. Alright. So he tried to Vader, but he didn't play a villain card. So I think he's trying to soft pass. We can make a tie here. Try to get him to play Vader and use victory resources. Um, before we commit. Yeah, everyone's trying to waste actions here. Well, they only have 2 resources. Can't can't disabling tank fighter. Alright. We'll deploy Vader as a pilot because we need those 2 ties. Do we? 2 ties. What happens if yeah. They they barrage 1, 2, 3. Yeah, maybe Groms is fine. We're not gonna resource because even if we do, we're not gonna be able to play both of these cards. Good. That that defeats that defeat our 7th fleet defender with the shield here. And if we wanted to, our 7th fleet defender can defeat the Devastator. Let's see where they put the 4 damage. So we do 11. They didn't do any damage on Vader. So they can't win this game anymore. I think we can attack with Vader here. And then if they don't claim, we claim and win. Yeah, yeah, that's it. they're just gonna play Salicious Crumb and heal 22, and then Vader heals 8. They lose. Devastator does not have Sentinel. Alright, I'll play a few more games. It's 11:11 here now, so I'll play until about 11:30. Then we'll call it. Alright, Dooku, Data Vault. This is another deck that I'm not too sure how it works, but our goal is going to be to keep their board low on units, so they can't exploit big units into play. And if they do exploit big units, we have Waylay. So I'll mulligan because one drop. Right, we'll keep these two. Actually, I won't keep the droid starfighter. I'll just keep the two mining guild so we can draw later on. Resource this. This is gonna be good. It's gonna be good. Outmaneuver probably not good in this matchup. Um, all right. We don't have any bounces though, so they are going to get to exploit stuff. Looks like this is. We much rather see this than Poggle. So this will get them units in their hand, but at least we'll be able to see what they have. We don't need this one. We have 2 1 drops. We don't need 2. All right. So what are they gonna go get? Swarming Vulture Droid. All right. They're not playing that this turn. They're not drawing here. Right. This is a pretty rough start for us, I think. If they get some big units out, at least we got Nugget to be dead now. I'll resource the mining guild TIE fighter. I want to play the first order TIE fighter so we can get some damage on board. Like this turn, playing Eager Escort Vader and first order TIE fighter and hoping that they don't have barrage next turn. Seems decent. Attack one of these. This isn't dying because of the shield. Green has no way to defeat any units with shields, so we could wait to see if they're gonna play a big ship, and maybe we'll need the 7th defender to defeat the ship. All right, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. They exploited the 2 cost unit to basically ramp 3. That's pretty cool. All right, so a phase 3 Dark Troopers. So far, Mass isn't giving them too many good units. So I want to waste actions to see what's gonna happen with those resources. So I'll make a droid here. I'll make a TIE fighter here. There's a decent chance I just throw these 2 units into the swarming of Ultra Droid just because I want to get units off the board so that they can't wait for a ton. Yeah, I'll just defeat both of them here. I think. Yeah. I'm gonna draw here. Having the bounce guys would have been good. All right, so the bounce guy shows up. Um, could play these 2 this turn and not play No Get Me Dead. All right. This turn's the plan is to bounce something. So Elite P38 just because it's a ship. Here we can bounce Maz so that they don't get something big to exploit us. Do we just play it? What if I want to play it now? You have to exhaust it. Oh, it's just when you play another. Yeah, you may exhaust it. Maybe I could just play it for five. Play it for five. Maybe I should say with four. Play for eight. It has to be a separatist unit, right? I don't, like I said, I don't really know much of this deck, so I don't know what to expect. In most situations, it doesn't really matter if you know what to expect or not. Cards like Waylay and stuff like that don't care about what you're expecting. Okay, now we got Waylay, which is good. Good. Opponent gets rid of a bunch of stuff to get out Devastator. We would have been happy with Waylay, but now they have Overwhelming Barrage finally. That's not great. We'll have like 4 damage left on board, 3 damage left on board, two, three, four. Yeah, 4 damage left on board. Yeah, yep, yeah, that's it. Now, do you want to draw with the Mining Guild Fighter? Possibly, possibly want to draw with it. Hopefully, we get like Lurking Tie if we draw with it. I don't really have a way to beat Vader on this unit. Devastator. All right, let's draw. Yeah, that's good. That was a good draw. Now we can get that out and Waylay. Tie. Try and get him to burn actions. There's no damage we want to do anywhere. Okay, got another swarming vulture droid. All right. All right. Hit. Can I survive another barrage? This is 9, 12. Got 12 damage on the board, but I have Waylay. Survive another barrage. Get rid of the. Gonna need to draw out. 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. Damage on the board. 2 damage on the board for a point. Alright. I didn't use the resources, but it doesn't really matter. Either we win this turn or we lose. Well, we're gonna have to Waylay here. Didn't have a choice really. Devastator. Beat this. I'll take one. And I'll play this. Um, I'll need to play this right away. I think I need this to survive. Well, right now I'm winning without this surviving, right? So I don't have to play it now. Right? We're good somehow. We're good. It looks like the opponent doesn't have any big ships in their deck. They just want to play forming vulture droids. Yeah, because that's their deck. Alright. Somehow we got out of this one. Oh, good. The Captain Rex deck. So this deck is pretty much if you draw maneuver, they lose. Although I've managed to lose once because I didn't have a great start and I had outmaneuver. But typically it's outmaneuver and lose, or a lot of them. So I'm gonna keep this hand because I got mining guild TIE fighters to try to get. Keep and then this is good. We have a shield here, so we're not gonna get command. We have really strong power, but that we're really missing in this game is we have a ship. It's fine. Control droid. Um, Here we're just gonna trade both units. I guess we're not gonna draw with the mining guild TIE fighters. We're just gonna trade both units, make it high, and play the shield. And there is always the possibility, depending on what they play, that we might want to bounce what they play, but that's pretty doubtful. We can just bounce what they play next turn. I don't know what they would possibly play here that we'd want to bounce. We can take the 2 damage. We'd rather have the 3-2 draw maneuver. So now this turn we're gonna play combat squadron. Next turn we're gonna play combat squadron, and we're not gonna need Jonas' control. Man doesn't have any good removal other than man, and yeah, because he did that, he's only gonna have like two different, or sorry, three different units on the turn that he picks up. So you're gonna need to swing that draw. I feel like I'm not even sure if it's correct. Keep whaling in case we're not gonna lead the elite P38 because Rex stops everything from having 1 HP. Uh, so they don't have a way of dealing with combat squadron. Maybe protect the pod. Maybe protect the pod. So we'll attack first. They only have a 24 HP, so it's not really a rush to do damage. If the Unity of Purpose this turn, we just lose this turn. They don't have Unity of Purpose, so we're gonna go up 8, 9, 10, 12. They do damage crit. I could have given 5 So like this is what their deck looks like when they don't have Unity of Purpose. Just it's like an even slower deck than ours in terms of attack, like power set. Uh, we're one of the best matchups for this deck. And like we're as likely to have outmaneuver. Actually, we're as slightly more likely to have outmaneuver than they are to have unity of purpose because we can draw with the mining field size. And yeah, so like 57% of the time on our 5 resource turn we'll have outmaneuver in case they ramp and the purpose on our 5 resource turn. But usually on our 6 resource turn it's higher. So this is a good matchup, Talzin versus uh, Vader. They're on Red Force. So we want to preferably keep one drops that don't have 1 HP. We're going to keep this. Resource of 20 chips. We're not thrilled about Whaley either. There's a case like made for resourcing Whaley and TIE Fighter instead. Because we can, it's a slow deck to do the -1/-1, so we can like bait them into a -1. The tie that we're going to put on 3 resources, and then we'll get 1 attack for 2 damage. So there's a case to be made for keeping the first order TIE Fighter instead of the Whaley and ensuring that we get a ship on 3R. But we're just gonna believe in the deck. Right? So we're gonna get rid of Whaley. I'd rather have this. Hit the point first. If I have to choose between 1 and 2, I'd rather this. That's one of my gamer pass. One claims is good. I think if opponent passes, you still have to make tie right anyways, because then they'll use their force to get rid of it. Because it's the same thing, right? If I make it and they claim, they can just use their force as their first action, and it's like if I made it, they use the force, then I can. So yeah, there's an argument to be made for this. So I'm gonna resource Generator because shields don't matter. It's a bunch of like minus, right? So it gets rid of the first order TIE Fighter. Fine. Still have 4 resources, but it doesn't have the -1/-1. So they can no longer beat the Victory Leader unless they have lightning. But I'd rather play the combat squad this turn anyways. So start by attacking. Um, 3. They'll hit me. It's normal that we lose the race early on against this deck. Again, against these decks, we like catch up on the turn and the outmaneuver. Basically, they're just putting a clock on to do things. So want to save assassin. If they want to save damage, they have to fly. If they don't even want to save damage, alright, do another outmaneuver. Good. Um, shuttle. If they have bombing run in game 1, if it was a game 2 or 3, I would shuttle into 6 now. Although if we get bombing run, all right. So opponent decided to force lightning. So now what we're gonna do is we get great bait. Where, or sorry, we don't get great bait. We're just gonna play Victory Leader. And now 1,000 can't defeat one of our TIE Fighters without us attacking with it first, right? So now hitting us with everything is gonna do 4, 7, 9, 12 damage. We'll be at 24, but we have outmaneuver. Sorry, we're not gonna get 20 points, right? Here we're definitely outmaneuvering first action, right? And we can keep more damage, but it's not gonna matter. Alright, and I can just put so tells us that's pretty good for us. We're gonna do 2 6. We're gonna do 11 damage. 11 damage. We're gonna put Vader on the ground. Do we want to put Vader on the ground? What happens if you put Vader up in space? Put Vader up in space. Their first action is to remove it. They're gonna be at 20. First action is gonna be to remove it. Then we out. We hit. It's too. Better to put it in space here, right? Then we'll do the shuttle. So now they kind of like they have to defeat. They have to defeat Vader with the first action. Otherwise, we were just gonna outmaneuver the board, and if they had no other removal, they were gonna lose. Even if they had a removal for Victor Leader, it was still gonna be rough. So yeah. So to everyone that watched the game, thank you for watching. I'm gonna get off now. 2.5 hours. We had some interesting games. Yeah, we played against a lot of non-meta decks, but there was a few meta decks thrown in there. So yeah, so that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.